What if I told you there's a fighter jet so agile, so deadly, and so iconic that even today, more than 4 decades after its first flight, it's still flying strong in air forces around the world? A jet that was built to rival America's F-16 and F-15 yet developed its own legendary reputation for raw maneuverability, aggressive design, and combat toughness. This isn't a relic of the Cold War. This is the Mikoyan MiG-29 Fulcrum, one of the most famous Russian fighter jets ever built. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the MiG-29 became a symbol of Russian air power, how it shocked Western pilots in combat, and why it still flies today in upgraded forms across dozens of countries. The 1970s, the Cold War was at its peak. The US had just rolled out the F-15 Eagle, an air superiority fighter unmatched in speed and firepower. Not long after, the lighter, cheaper F-16 Fighting Falcon entered the skies. The Soviet Union needed an answer. They needed a fighter that could go head-to-head with the West's best jets, dominate in close-quarters dogfights, and still be rugged enough to operate from rough airfields deep inside Russia. The result? The MiG-29 Fulcrum, first flown in 1977, and officially introduced in 1982. Its mission: counter the F-15 and F-16, and give the Soviet Air Force a versatile, lethal, and highly maneuverable fighter. Look at the MiG-29 and you'll immediately notice its distinct twin-engine layout, wide stance, and muscular fuselage. This wasn't just for looks. The design gave the jet excellent stability and agility at high speeds. The wings are blended smoothly with the fuselage, a feature that improves lift and maneuverability. Combined with leading-edge root extensions, LERX, the MiG-29 could pull off extreme angles of attack, meaning it could turn sharply without stalling. One of its most iconic traits? The smoke-trailing engines. Pilots often said you could see a MiG-29 coming from miles away. But in the chaos of a dogfight, the trade-off was worth it because this jet could outturn almost anything in the sky. And let's not forget the MiG-29 was built to fight from rugged, frontline airstrips. Its landing gear is tough, high-mounted intakes protect the engines from debris, and it even has auxiliary intake doors on top of the wings, so it can take off from dirt or damaged runways without sucking in rocks. This wasn't just a fighter, it was a survivor. Climb inside the MiG-29's cockpit, and you'll notice it's not as digital or high-tech as Western jets of its era. The Soviets prioritized function over comfort. The pilot sits high, with good visibility over the nose and canopy, a must for dogfighting. The real secret weapon? The helmet-mounted sight, HMS, system. While Western pilots were still locked to cockpit displays, MiG-29 pilots could simply look at a target and fire an infrared missile in that direction. This meant that in close combat, a MiG-29 could get a missile lock even without pointing the nose directly at the enemy. Pair that with the deadly R-73 Archer missile, and suddenly, Western pilots realized they weren't untouchable anymore. So, how does the MiG-29 perform? Top speed, Mach 2.25, over 2,400 km per hour. Range, around 1,400 km on internal fuel, shorter than Western jets, but designed for Soviet battlefields close to the front lines. Service ceiling, 59,000 feet. Thrust, over 36,000 pounds combined from its twin Klimov RD-33 engines. But numbers only tell half the story. The MiG-29's real strength is maneuverability. Thanks to its aerodynamics and thrust-to-weight ratio, the Fulcrum can execute extreme turns, climb rapidly, and perform legendary maneuvers like the Cobra, where the jet pitches up to a near-vertical angle before snapping back into level flight. This made the MiG-29 a nightmare opponent in visual-range combat. The MiG-29 carries a lethal arsenal. 30mm GSH-30 cannon with 150 rounds for close encounters. Up to 6 air-to-air missiles on wing pylons, usually a mix of medium-range R-27s and short-range R-73s. It can also carry bombs, rockets, and even anti-ship missiles, making it versatile for ground attack missions. But make no mistake, the MiG-29 was designed first and foremost as an air superiority fighter. The MiG-29 has seen combat in multiple conflicts around the world. From the Middle East to Africa, from the Balkans to South Asia, this jet has fought in the hands of many nations. One of the most famous showdowns came during the Gulf War in 1991, when Iraqi MiG-29s faced American F-15s. The results? The MiGs struggled not because of poor design, but because they lacked modern radar, training, and support compared to US jets. Still, in exercises and close-range mock dogfights, NATO pilots often admitted the MiG-29 was an equal, if not superior, opponent in maneuverability. Even today, the MiG-29 continues to evolve. Variants like the MiG-29 SMT, MiG-29M, and MiG-35 have brought modern avionics, improved radar, longer range, and better multi-role capabilities. The MiG-35 in particular is seen as the ultimate evolution of the fulcrum, capable of precision strikes, advanced electronic warfare, and equipped with modern sensors. This proves one thing: the MiG-29's basic design was so strong, it could be upgraded for decades. So, why does the MiG-29 matter? Because it represents the Soviet philosophy of fighter design: simple, rugged, brutally effective at short range. It gave pilots the confidence to face off against advanced Western jets, and it showed the world that the Soviet Union could build fighters that demanded respect. Even today, when you hear the name Fulcrum, you immediately think of a jet that could dance in the sky, lock onto targets with just a glance, and hold its own in the fiercest dogfights. The McCoyan MiG-29 is more than just a fighter jet, it's a symbol. A symbol of Cold War rivalry, of Soviet engineering, and of the timeless pursuit of air dominance. It may not have the stealth of the F-35 or the electronics of the F-22, but in the hands of a skilled pilot, the MiG-29 remains one of the most dangerous dogfighters ever built. So the next time you see those twin engines roaring and that distinctive silhouette cutting across the sky, remember that's the Fulcrum, the fighter that defined a generation. Call to action. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the MiG-29, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because we've got more legendary aircraft stories coming your way. Tell me in the comments, which jet should we cover next, the Su-27 Flanker, or the F-16 Fighting Falcon? Until next time, fly safe, and keep your eyes on the skies.